Now, I talked a lot about how my time at the United States Postal Service, and while I was there, I was dealing with certain things where, it was a lot of the supervisors and the managers. They didn't treat certain people fairly. They were not treating me fairly. And a lot of people were complaining about how they treated them. And I had talked about this, and I had exposed all this on my page. And as a result, the Lord let me know that they had been retaliating against me and that they were holding me on their spiritual altar. And as you know, I made a video after I voluntarily left this company in October, how they were holding on to me. They would not release me. They were refusing to release me. They were refusing to separate me from the company, even though I'd already left. And it took till the end of December, almost January, for them to release me from the company. As a result, my 401k money, everything was delayed. Everything was blocked, and they were holding up everything. And so I had been recently seeing, like, everywhere I go, the Lord would show me a mail truck. I would see this postal truck, or I would see a postal worker. I would just happen to look out my window and I would see a postal worker. And the Lord kept showing me, and I was like, Lord, why are you showing me all these mail trucks? Why do I keep seeing these postal workers everywhere I turn? And he was letting me know that they still were holding me on the spiritual altar. Now, as you know, I was been waiting for my W-2s. I called them ahead of time to give them my new address. And the lady wrote down my address. She said it will probably end up going to my old address. And if it did not, I could call them and have, a new one reissued. And so I still get my mail at the old house, and nothing was sent there. My W-2s were not sent. They were not sent to the new address. I gave them on file. And when I called them, they told me I now have to mail them a request in writing to receive a duplicate W-2 form, even though they never issued my original W-2. And the Lord was letting me know how they're still holding on to me. So when they hold me on an altar, that means they're trying to stop everything, all my blessings from coming in. And they've held me because a lot of these people were retaliating against me. And like I said, when I was there, a lot of the supervisors were not, being fair. I had a supervisor by the name of Pharaoh, who I told you she would plot certain things. She would set me up by, I talked about this in playlists, how she would give the vehicle to another gentleman who ended up working at the company after me. And as a result, I had to be delayed. And they would just send out things to attack and hinder me. And they wanted certain people to be elevated. They were promoting other people, giving them more favor on the job. And so I recently had a dream about this woman. And the Lord let me know in this dream, I saw when she was telling us to go out and get the mail to deliver these packages or whatever. And so I went over there. There was a whole big thing of packages. And every time I went to pick up a package, one of the guys would come over there, grab the package, and say, oh, I'm going to deliver this one. I'm going to deliver this. And everyone kept taking the packages from me. And everyone was delivering these packages. She was sending more and more over there, and they would take these packages. And so I finally went back over there to get the packages. Only a few discarded packages left. There was nothing left over. And so I grabbed one. I happened to get one. I was able to deliver 1 or 2 packages. And as I'm walking out to go out to the truck to get ready to deliver these packages, I see her following behind me with some people walking right behind her. And so the Lord was showing me how this woman all along was dispersing, my favor, the thing I was supposed to have. I was supposed to have certain routes, and I talked about this. She wanted to hinder me on this job because these are people who go out and target God's children. They were targeting God's anointed, and it's equivalent to stealing our inheritance. And it talks in the Bible where the Lord was talking about how those who have touched the inheritance of the Israelites, who he had caused his people to receive, evil neighbors, he called them evil neighbors. He said that they will be plucked out of the land. And so this is something to show that, God's going to be sending his judgment on the United States Postal Service, and not just them, many of places and establishments who have been stealing the inheritance of his people. You cause the people, you don't want them working on your jobs. You'll hire them just for a temporary time, and then you'll steal their gifts or their talents, or you'll promote others ahead of them when that person was supposed to have this favor because God put the favor on them, and they had the intelligence, they had the skills to do it, but you did not want them there. You wanted to target them because they were God's children. You wanted to push them to the background. So you elevated people who came after them above them, or you put other people in their places who were not supposed to be there, and you held on to their inheritance. Basically, you stole their inheritance. And so I talked about how, the United States Postal Service was doing this, and the Lord has shown me again, like I said, this woman has continued to still be a stubborn pursuer. And so God's going to be dealing with a lot of you. He's going to be dealing with you. Those who are thinking you can come up against God's anointed, his prophets. He says, touch not my anointed, do my prophets no harm. And a lot of you still have not heeded that. And so the Lord was just showing me all of this stuff that's happening and how he's going to start judging all of these different people, all these different organizations and places where they have not treated his children right. And you're still to this day, even after they have left the company, I've already left the company, but you're still holding on. You think you're going to hold me on the altar and stop me from receiving my blessings. Well, guess what? God's going to shut you down if he has to put iron heavens over the entire company and over you and your entire family and your household. That's what he'll do, because now you're interfering in his purpose and his work that he wants to be done through me.